Well, for more insight into Poland's economic landscape, I'm now joined by Tatha Ghose, Senior Emerging Market Economist at Commerzbank. Thanks for joining us this morning. There have been rather extraordinary events overnight, haven't they?
Yes. I mean, the incoming president is clearly good news, because so far you had a division between the government and the president requiring extraordinary majority on the part of any government legislation which the president opposes. And now you no longer have that, and Mr. Komorowski is clearly Mr. Tusk's man. And things like the Polish budget spending cap, which all analysts have been very, eagerly watching and thinking about whether that will go through the parliament or not, it looks like a done deal.
Where does most of the country, where does most of that party's support come from?
It comes from the urban areas.
Yeah.
The rural vote was clearly still won by the twin brother of the deceased president. But as far as markets are concerned, clearly things like the budget, the EU, euro entry, these are more urban issues than rural. And, we are glad that from the market point of view, we can move forward with this election.
Now, Poland did fare a lot better than other countries during the recession. Why was that?
Two things. A, Polish exports are increasingly diversified. I mean, if you look at Poland's exports to the EU, I mean, in terms of market share within the EU, it's gone from, it's increased from less than 4% to 10% now. Whereas within Poland, their own share of exports to, let's say, a key market like Germany has dropped from 35% to 25%, from the early 2000s to now. So you see that they are less reliant on EU demand, but as share of EU, they have clearly grown. The other factor, of course, is returning Polish workers from developed markets, which boosted consumption last year to 2% increase, whereas most other peers were seeing consumption decline in the recession. So those are the two main reasons.
Now, it's said that there are a lot of policies that have been put in place to please Germany and to help join the EU. Do you think that's fair?
I think on paper, an EU country has to talk about that, and joining the euro, for example, is not a matter of choice. It's they have to target it at some point or the other. So they
don't have to, though, do they? I mean, the UK's got no desire to target it.
Yes, I mean, you have exemptions based on economic strength, but in the case of the CE3, they clearly would look to, I mean, they can't linger within the EU but have no plans to meet Maastricht criteria or join the euro indefinitely. And they have to be putting together policies to meet those targets. That is where, although we see, plans to do fiscal reform and the like, I think they may slip the deadline of 2015 for the euro by a year or two.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Ghose, for joining us.